Johnson & Wales University welcomes you to today's game. We remind you that one of the goals of collegiate athletics is learning lifetime values. Sportsmanship is one of those values that is best learned when respect is accorded to all. Please let your good sportsmanship show during the game. Johnson & Wales encourages and promotes sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. Profanity, racial or ethnic comments, harassing words, threats, physical confrontations, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and, gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Good afternoon, JWU fans. This is your sports commentator, Hart Hawley, coming to you live at the JWU Wildcat Center once again as our women's team will go up against the Voorhees University women's basketball team. As of right now, the women's teams are 9-1 at home, posting a 12-4 record overall this season, creating so much winning atmospheres that so far we have already turned the tables against our opponents. And with a phenomenal record win, it is pretty much given us a huge reminder that this women's team is phenomenal and standing strong to this very day in the cold weather. So hopefully, as the game is about to begin very soon, we can hopefully increase our wins to 10-1 rather than get deducted 9-2. Welcome back, JWU fans. This is your sports commentator, Hart Holly, coming to you live as we are about to begin tip-off. And here we go. So far, number 22, Nadeja Ford, passing the ball to Keelan Davis. Back out to Ford again. All the way down to number 10, which is Snow. Ford with the ball, guarded by Preston, puts up the mid-range two-pointer. Won't go, ball's knocked out of bounds, and it was last touched by our JWU team as it is going to be Voorhees' ball once again. Davis going to the inbound, passes it to Snow. Snow all the way to Ford. Ford guarded by Daniels. And Preston with the steal. And JWU fans with numbers. Preston driving inside the paint. Tough layup, and she puts it in. First score of the game for the Wildcats. Number 20 down the lane. Passes it to Davis. Back out to Snow. Snow to Davis again, and she lays it in. Nice way to do a back-to-back scoring session. Daniels all alone. Does an inbounds pass. And Rollins with the score. Davis trying to go past the defense and misses the layup. Rebounded by Preston. Preston seems to be hobbling on one leg, but now seems like she's limping a little bit, trying to go steady. Toscano with the ball, won't go. Davis tries to put it back and misses the shot. Ford with the ball. Ford passes it to Snow. Snow thought about shooting it, tries to do a step back. Passes it to Marshall. Marshall puts up the two-pointer, won't go, gets her own rebound and misses the shot. Rawlings now with the recovery. Back out to Toscano. Toscano does a back pass to Preston as Preston now begins to call the offense. Preston guarded by Ford. Preston with the ball. Passes it to Davis. Davis over Snow. Won't go. And is rebounded by Davis. Davis trying to guard it by Daniels. Does an inbounds pass to Browns, but she misses the layup. Preston with the ball. Slowly dribbling. Getting guarded. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Davis, and it's going to be JWU's ball. So far the ball possession offensively and defensively has been up and down right now. Both teams trying to find an opening but can't seem to get inside of the paint or finish with the execution. But hopefully JWU can try to finish that and change that around very shortly. Preston inbounds it to Daniels. Back out to Toscano. Toscano with the ball. Loses the ball after getting double teamed. And right now Brown all alone until trying to find an opening. Passes it to Ford. Ford puts up the three. Won't go and is rebounded by Daniels. Daniels dribbling, stops, and recovers her balance. Going to the left side of the wing. Inside the paint. Passes it to Preston. Preston fakes. Now to Toscano. Toscano for a three. And she won't make it. Powell tried to get the ball, but doesn't able to as Snow is trying to dribble in up court. Back out to Ford. Ford to Snow again. Snow does an inbounds pass. And we got a whistle blown and a travel violation. Nice defensive pressure by the women's team as right now whistle's being blown. Seemingly to stop the play. And we're back into the game. Toscano passes it to Preston. And it looks like we got another whistle was blown. There were some bickering between the opposing team's player and coaches, causing the game to stop. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and restart it as Toscano does an inbounds pass to Preston. Preston was getting hounded by Ford back there, and she still is. Not really. And Preston finding an opening, passes it to Toscano. Toscano with the ball, does a pass to Daniels. Daniels loses the ball and is recovered. Voorhees with possession. Ford, guarded by Daniels, back out to Snow. Now back to Ford again. Ford all the way to Brown. Brown guarded by Preston. Brown once again to Ford. To Marshall. Shot clock running down. Ford needs to hurry. Guarded by Preston. Now guarded by Davis as she shoots the ball and the whistle is blown and she calls for a foul. And right now, Deja Ford, a guard, senior, is now at the line. And she misses 1 out of 2. And Toscano with the ball, passes to Preston. Voorhees doing amazing defense as they steal the ball once again. Snow with an inbounds pass assist, and she scores the layup. Daniels, back out to Davis, to Preston. Preston, now to Davis, now to Daniels. Voorhees is guarding every player on the court. Preston with the fake, fires the 2-point shot, won't go. Daniels back out to Powell. Powell, the 2-point shot, won't go. Powell fighting for the rebound as she goes up inside and she's fouled. Yeah, Laker Powell is going to be going to the line to shoot 2 free throws. So far, Voorhees' defense has been doing good to prevent the Wildcats from using their offense to score, doing full court presses as Lakin Powell hits the first shot. Hopefully, though, the offense can get well adjusted and adapt towards whatever Voorhees is trying to take over on them. And she sinks in both jumpers. And J-Woo is now up by 1 once again. Voorhees passing the ball around. Brown for 3. And she swishes it home. First 3-pointer of the game. Preston with the ball. Does a pass to Davis. Now to Daniels. Back to Davis again. Now to Preston. Preston trying to find an opening player. It fouls out to Davis again. Davis slowly dribbles back out to Toscano. Now to Daniels, who's at the corner. Driving inside, spins around to Toscano. Pulls up for 2. Won't go. Lakin Powell tried to get the rebound, but Voorhees with the ball. Deja Ford dribbling up court. Trying to direct the offense. Preston is switching onto her. Back out to Brown. Guarded by Toscano. Toscano. Back out to Marshall. And another score inside as a score by Revenal. And right now, Voorhees is up 10-6. So far in this opening game, J-Will seems to be getting hounded by the defense, especially with the full court press, ever since they started doing an inbounds pass. This might be a new technique for Voorhees, as they have always, so far into the game, they tried to use their defensive efforts and hustle to prevent an offensive sequence, which is seemingly working. But hopefully all that can be changed around as well, as the score is 10-6 with the opposing team up by 4 with a 2-possession game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back into the game as Gabby Daniels does an inbounds pass. Back out to Preston. Preston, nice pass to Daniels. Daniels inside, misses the layup, and we got a whistle blown. Looks like it's a foul call. But it's going to be Jay Woo's ball. Preston does an inbound pass. Gabby all alone from the corner, does a fake, trying to hustle away inside, and she loses the ball. But it looks like another foul has been called. Looks like it was a jump ball call, not a foul call, as once again, Preston to inbounds. Does an inbounds pass to Powell, and she scores, and she's fouled. Nice offensive sequence by the JWU Wildcats. First and one possession of the game in the first quarter. Hopefully it can come into a three-point play very soon, as Powell will go to the free throw line for the second time this quarter. She made both shots last time. This time she won't go. Good rebounded by Daniels. Back out to Gabby. Now to Daniels again. All alone for three. Hits the front of the rim and won't go. And now a jump ball call has been announced and is going to be Voorhees University's ball. And right now we got some substitution coming in for Voorhees, as number 11, Brianna Moore, is going to get subbed in for number 5, Nia Marshall. Both of them are forwards, and both of them are forwards. However, Marshall is a senior while Moore is a sophomore. Both of them are seniors, excuse me. And we got a traveling violation to be called, and it's going to be JWU's ball once again. Several violation calls has been announced, but so far, majority of them has been JWU's possession. This can hopefully give them advantage to go to the basket. Preston back out to Daniels, to Toscano. Preston again from the left wing, and she won't be able to go. Daniels trying to fight for the rebound, but it is recovered by Voorhees. Brown with the ball, guarded by Gabby. Gabby staying on Brown. Passes it in to number 10, who is Snow. Misses the shot. Nice rebounded by Daniels. And Gabby seemingly all alone. Passes it to Preston. Preston now to Gabby. Gabby from the corner, three. It's good! 1, 2, 3 for Gabby, as JWU is now up by one. Gabby going all over Marshall. Now getting triple team. Preston with the steal. And right now, a foul call has been ordered as Preston seems to shove number 10, Zanaya Snow, causing the team to get their second foul of the game. And it looks like Marshall to inbound it to Ford. Ford guarded by Preston. Ford passes it to Brown. Brown guarded by Gabby. And his ball is stolen away. Preston with numbers. Forcing away inside the paint, and a foul's been called, and it's going to be on number 3, Davis, the guard junior. Back-to-back fouls has been called. One of them was once called on Preston, and now the foul has now been charged towards Preston, as she's now going to the free throw line. I believe this is Preston's first time at the free throw line. She's been hustling offensively and defensively. And she makes the first free throw. JWU is now currently up 12-10, so hopefully this free throw can extend the lead to a 3-point. And it does, as it's now 13-10. And Anaze inbounds the pass. JWU is now hounding the offense the way that Voorhees was able to do earlier. And Brown passes it to Ford. Ford guarded by Preston. Back to Brown again, who's guarded by Daniels, forcing her way inside the paint. And she goes out of bounds, but now they're saying it was last touch by Daniels. Some of the players couldn't believe that call, as right now the fouls, yes, it has been, the foul has indeed been called on Daniels, as she's now being subbed out into the game for Kyra Davis. And as that's going on, Shakira Brown is inbounding the pass, bounces off the back of Davis, back out to Ford. Ford guarded by Preston towards the paint. Now to Davis again. Davis all the way to Renoval, and she won't go. It won't go. Rebounded by Tapley. Tapley passes it to Preston. Preston guarded by Davis. Back out to Tapley. 2 in a row for Gabby. Won't go. Rebounded by Ford. Ford going inside the paint, and she scores with the layup. And Davis, and right now it's a 1-point game. Preston back out to Tapley. She thought about passing it, pulls up the 2-point shot, and it won't go. Rebounded by Voorhees. Voorhees with the ball possession into Ford's hands. Ford guarded by Preston. Preston passes it to Randall all alone, and she scores the layup again. And now Jay Wu is behind by 1. Preston with the ball, passes it to Tapley. Tapley trying to find an open player. Passes it to Gabby. Bryant going inside, and she is fouled. And right now, with that foul call, Jay Wu is now officially in the bonus. And with that, Gabby Bryant, number 22, is going to the free throw line. This is her first time at the line as well after the bonus foul call. And she sinks in the first free throw jumper. And she sinks in the second free throw as Jay Wu now takes the lead by 1. Brown with the ball, guarded by Toscano. Ball stolen away by Gabby. Gabby all alone inside, and with the layup. Gabby Bryant is now doing the scoring sequence in the first quarter. Ford guarded by Preston. Preston trying to keep a good guard on her. But Ford with the 3 won't go. Lincoln Powell swats the ball away, but is recovered by Snow. Back out to Ford. Now to Brown to tie the game, and that won't go. But Voorhees still getting the rebound. Ford guarded by Preston once again. 27 seconds left. Ford with the ball, stolen away. It was knocked out of her hands, but it's still going to be Voorhees' ball after the foul call. And now we got some substitutions coming in, as it looks like Lincoln Powell is going to be substituted in for Erica Rawlings. Brown, inbounds pass to Ford, guarded by Bryant. Ford taking her time, trying to escape the dribble, but it's swatted up, but it's knocked out of bounds. Nice defensive play by Bryant. And right now, Tapley inbounds it to Preston. Preston hustling her way. Back out to Tapley. Back out to Preston. Preston was about to shoot it. Does a fake. Step back 3. And it won't go, as right now, Jay Wu is up by 3, 17-14 out of 1 possession game. So far, ladies and gentlemen, the leading scorers right now is for Voorhees is led by Anaze Reveno with 4 points. with 3 rebounds and 0 assists, and the second leading scorers are tied with Ford and Brown with 3. Now in the first quarter, Gabby Bryant for the JWU Wildcats has scored 7 points, with the second leading scorer being Powell and Preston. As of right now, though, with the first quarter stats, JWU is 5 of 18, shooting 27% from the field, while Voorhees is 6 of 17, shooting 35% from 3. Voorhees is also 1 of 3, being 33% from the three-point line, while Johnson and Wales are 1 of 5, being 20% from the three-point line. While JWU does have the lead, they need to be better offensively and making shot creations. They managed to get better late into the first quarter, but they definitely need to increase that margin because the game is very close. But hopefully, JWU fans, they can be able to overcome that and figure it out leading into halftime as the second quarter begins. As Toscano inbounds into Preston. Preston guarded by Snow. Preston passes it to Gabby. Now to Tapley, puts up the mid-range jumper, and she airballs it as it goes out of bounds. Not the best way to start in this game, but JWU still has the lead, so hopefully that can be turned around. Snow dribbling up court, guarded by Preston. Trying to pass it to Joseph, and puts up the fading jumper. Won't go. Rollins trying to get the rebound, but Joseph somehow recovers it. Good defensive play by Toscano, but it is out of bounds. And right now we got substitution as number 4, Tierra Griffin, is going to be substituted in for Nadeja Ford. Brown back out to Snow, who is now getting hounded by Preston. Snow going inside the paint, and she scores in with the layup. Preston with the ball, guarded by Snow. She's on the left wing. Now to Rawlings, to Gabby. Gabby with the ball, trying to shake away Ford. Passes it to Toscano. Toscano jump shot 2, and puts it in! A swish by Toscano. And look at that. Snow passes it to Ford, who is guarded by Bryant. And Ford going inside the paint, cutting through the defense, and she finished with the layup. Preston with the ball, dribbling up court, guarded by Snow. Passes it to Gabby, now to Bryant. Bryant passes it to Tapley again. Tapley using her physicality to go inside the paint, and a whistle has been blown. And the foul is going to be on Voorhees as Nia Marshall commits it. Right now, a lot of commotion is going into the game as the ball is about to be inbounded. Preston passes it to Toscano. Nearly gets a little bit contact from Brown, but no whistle has been blown as Voorhees with the ball. Snow is stolen away by Toscano. Ball being passed around. Preston all alone for 3. Won't go. And is rebounded by Voorhees. Nearly stolen away by Bryant as Ford with the ball. Guarded by Preston. Ford trying to find an open player. And ball is getting knocked around. Ford recovers it. Now passes it to Brown. Guarded by Toscano. Rawlings tries to knock the ball away, but Joseph recovers. Back out to Snow. Guarded by Bryant. And right now, a whistle has been blown once again, and it's going to be JWU's possession. It looked like it was either a double dribble violation or a carry. But either way, it is going to be JWU's ball. As the players are being switched out, Toscano dribbles it, does an inbounds pass to Preston. Preston guarded by Snow, as she slowly dribbles the ball up court. Sets the screen. And right now, a whistle has been blown once again. And the foul has been committed by Snow, as it's going to be Jay-Woo once again. Referee passes it to Preston as Preston gets ready to inbound it. Back out to Bryant. Bryant to Preston. Preston to Toscano. Toscano guarded by Brown. Passes it to Rollins. Rollins loses the ball. Recovered by Brown. Brown hustling, looking around. Passes it to Griffin. What a block by Toscano! What a vicious, good timing block by Toscano. She passes it to Davis. Davis inside the paint. Tries to get a foul call, but misses the shots. Ford dribbling up course, slowly dribbling the ball, guarded by Preston. And the whistle has been blown, and it's gonna looks like it's gonna be a carry, as it's now gonna be Jay-Woo's ball. And right now, Toscano inbounds the pass to Preston. And Preston passes it to Toscano. Toscano inside the paint and scores with the layup. Right now we got Ford with the ball, guarded by Preston, dribbling up court. Passes it into Brown. Brown guarded by Toscano near the paint. Back out to Ford. Ford to Snow at the wing. And a travel violation has been called. Great defensive efforts to catch Voorhees off guard by Jay-Woo, as it is going to be their ball once again. And it looks like now we got a timeout call, and it's going to be called by Jay-Woo, as Jay-Woo is now up 21-18. Even though the game is getting close, so far we are seeing a better offensive and defensive improvement, especially after the vicious block made by Toscano. What a great timing possession to go ahead and knock the ball away. Jay-Woo has definitely slowly adapted towards Voorhees' style of play, because Voorhees is clamping the players as of right now, but even still, Jay-Woo seemingly got everything under control like nothing has happened. As right now we're getting ready to start the game once again. It looks like Toscano is going to be the one to inbound the ball. Toscano passes it to Preston, and we're underway once again. Preston guarded by Snow to Bryant. Bryant to Toscano. Stolen away by Brown. Brown guarded by Bryant. Brown tried to do a spin move. Once again guarded, passes into Ford. Ford trying to go past the defense, and she scores a tough layup. Ford has been carrying the scoring sequence for Voorhees as of right now, as Gabby Bryant dribbles the ball. Gabby trying to escape Ford, passes it to Toscano. Toscano trying to call for Preston, as she does pass it to her. Preston with the ball, going towards the middle, now towards the left wing, to Toscano again, now to Rollins, using her physicality to go inside the paint. Last touch by 42, which is Anaze Revenong, as it was a good block, but it was knocked out of bounds. And it looks like Erica Rollins is going to get subbed in for Lakin Powell, and Daniels is going to be subbed in for Bryant. Preston trying to look for a player. Needs to hurry. Passes it into Bryant. Bryant puts up the two-point shot. Won't go. Rebounded by Voorhees. And Snow gets the ball into her hands. Snow is guarded by Preston. Preston trying not to lose vision of her, as Brown with the ball, guarded by Toscano. Brown, and we got an illegal screen call, and it's going to be on number 4, Tiara Griffin. And right now, Toscano inbounds the pass to Daniels. Daniels all alone, cutting through the defense, loses the ball. Nice swatted away by Brown, but it was still going to be JWU's ball. And Preston inbounds it to Toscano. Toscano to Preston. Preston to Powell. Back out to Davis. Davis for three. Won't go. Rebounded to Daniels. And it is recovered by the Wildcats. Toscano once again for three. Airballs the shot. And the ball was still in bounds, but Daniels must have missed it, as right now Brown with the ball. Brown guarded by Daniels. Gets the ball nearly out of bounds. Before he still recovers it. Ball being dribbled around and passed around, but it doesn't go in as it's recovered by Davis. Davis with the ball. Passes it into Preston. Preston all the way to Toscano. Puts up the two-point shot. Won't go. Lakin Powell the rebound. Back out to Toscano. And now passes it back into Preston. Preston guarded by Snow. Preston going inside, passes into Davis. Davis for three, and swishes it home. 1, 2, 3 for the Wildcats. Snow with the ball, guarded by Preston. Preston now back out to Brown. Brown guarded by Toscano. Brown puts up a long three-pointer, and she scores. Back-to-back three-point possessions by both the Wildcats and the Voorhees team. So far, this game has been very, very close. Even though JWU still has a lead of 1, this game is going back and forth, and this is already an exciting game so far. Johnson and Wales is trying to extend their lead as we only got 3 minutes and 29 seconds left going into halftime, so hopefully anything can change leading up to this point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back into the game as Davis inbounds the pass to Preston. Preston passes it to Davis. Davis loses focus, and it is knocked out of bounds. It is going to be Voorhees' ball. It was last touched by Preston, trying to pass it into Davis. And right now it's going to be Voorhees' ball with number 30, Camilla Epps, getting ready to inbound the pass. We got some substitutions coming into the game as well, as it's going to be Sydney Wells substituting in. Epps passes it into Snow. Snow guarded by Davis. Davis back out to Epps. Epps with the ball. Back out to Brown. Brown guarded by Toscano. Pulls up the two-point shot opportunity, and she drills it. Back-to-back buckets from Brown. She has so far become a silent scorer contributor for this team. Brown with the ball. Passes it into Wells. Wells to Toscano. Toscano now back out to Davis. Davis loses the ball, recovers, passes it into Preston. Preston stolen away by Brown. Right now Voorhees with possession and a 2-on-1 advantage as Voorhees scores it again by Epps. And Sydney Wells has a pass back to Preston as Preston now dribbles the ball up court. Voorhees was down by 1 and now they're up by 3. Preston with the ball, back out to Toscano. Toscano to Wells. Wells puts up the mid-range two-point shot, airballs it, back out to Davis. Davis for the tie, in and out, and it's rebounded by Epps. Epps with the ball, passes it in to Ford. Ford guarded by Preston. Preston to Joseph. Joseph guarded by Powell, and the ball is stolen away by Jay Wu, recovered by Preston. Preston to Wells. Wells pulls up for three and switches it home. 1, 2, 3 for the Wildcats. And right now, the game is tied at 27. Snow guarded by Davis. And tries to pass it in. Toscano tries to swap the ball away from Brown. Brown inside the paint, back out to Summers, the two-point shot, and it doesn't go. And right now, Jay Wu once again with the ball. Preston to Davis, Davis to Snow. Wells is all alone in the corner, and she finds an open three. Won't go. And Snow with the rebound. Right now, Snow dribbling the ball, trying to command the offense, calling for the plays and formations, and Davis is guarding her. Snow, all alone, puts up a three and swishes it. And now the lead has been up to three once again, 30-27. Preston with the ball, and she's getting guarded by Ford. 37 seconds left. Preston commanding the offense. Back out to Davis. Davis loses the ball, recovered by Brown, and is back out to Snow. Snow to Ford. Ford trying to stop the offense to get it into her sequence of dribbles. Ford guarded by Preston. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. There's a one differential. Ford guarded by Toscano again. Preston steals the ball away, and it is going to be Jay Wu's possession with 5 seconds left. Right now, Jay Wu has enough time to either get a quick two-pointer in or a three-point bucket. Referees is getting ready to inbound the pass as Toscano passes it into Preston. Preston with the dribble, trying to hustle her way in, nearly loses the ball, puts up the floating jumper, and beats the buzzer! Preston showing excitement as it is now 30-29. Not exactly a tying game, but it is still a close game, as Voorhees is up by 30 with the Jay Wu women's team up with 29 points. As ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to head into halftime with our Jay Wu team falling behind by 1, 30-29 after the buzzer beater by Preston. As we're slowly getting into the second half of the game, so far our halftime reporters, number 20, Shakira Brown, is leading the game with 8 points. She was already doing phenomenal in the second quarter as she has 8 points, 3 steals, and 2 rebounds. And the second leading scorer is going to be from number 10, Zanaya Snow, as she has 7 points with 1 assist and 3 rebounds. And right now for the Jay Wu women's team, our leading scorer is once again Gabby Bryant, followed by Malaya Preston with 6 points. As we're getting into halftime with the halftime presentation. Hello, JWU Wildcats fans, as this is your commentator, Hart Holly, coming to you live as we're about to enter into the second half of the game. As right now, the JWU team is down 30-29, but after a buzzer beater by Preston, this could fuel a possible comeback, or at the very least, a resurgence going into the game. Let's hope that is the case. And right now, we are heading into the second half of our JWU basketball game. As Brown, guarded by Toscano. Now to Snow, guarded by Daniels. Ball being passed around, but it's recovered by Daniels. And Daniels, guarded by Snow, back out to Davis. Davis to Toscano, back out to Preston. Preston, guarded by Ford. Now to Davis again. Davis with the floater and scores. First points of the game, and the ball's being knocked out of bounds once again. As the ball hits the crowd, but thankfully nobody got hurt. And right now it's going to be JWU's ball once again. And Preston passes it into Daniels. And Daniels guarded by Brown. Back out to Davis, to Toscano. Toscano inside the paint. Air balls the turnaround jumper and recovered by Snow. Voorhees with numbers. And Voorhees guarded by Daniels. Back out to Snow, guarded by Toscano. Brown going inside, puts up the layup, and it won't go. Brown with the recovery, puts up the corner three, and misses the shot, rebounded by Preston. Preston with the ball. To Toscano, open for three, and switches it home. 1, 2, 3 for the Wildcats. So far, Toscano's been the best three-point shooter so far in this game, as she's managed to sneak in 3 three-pointers, I believe, 2 or 3. But either way, those are a big contributing factor. As Brown passes it in to Ravenel to cut the lead to 2. Preston with the ball. Slowly dribbling up court, guarded by Ford. Back out to Daniels. Daniels passes it into Toscano. Toscano with the fake. Going inside the paint. Step back 2-point shot. Airballs the shots. Preston with the rebound. And it was last touch by Revenal due to the smart play by Preston. It is JWU's ball. Davis with the three, won't go. And right now, Voorhees with the ball. Snow guarded by Daniels. Snow dribbling in place. Now it looks like she's calling for Daniels to guard her. Snow with the ball, puts up the 2-point shot. It won't go. Last touch by Rawlings, and it's going to be Voorhees' ball. And right now, Voorhees to inbounds. Missed jumper. Ball is knocked away. Rollins with the recovery, and now back out to Davis. Davis is hustling. Stops for a moment. Back out to Toscano. Toscano inside, and with the layup. 5 points in the quarter for Toscano. Ford passes it into Snow. Back out to Ford again. Getting double teamed. And right now, some of the opposing team is calling for a foul call, as even the referees is showing a little bit of frustration, but it's still JWU's ball. Ford, guarded by Preston. Preston with the ball. Pass it into Rawlings. Rawlings inside, and she won't go. And Revenant with the rebound, guarded. Not guarded. Passes it into Ford. Ford is now guarded by Preston. Ford is now calling the offense once again. Ford in the paint. Euro steps her way inside and misses the shot. Jabu with the ball. Preston with the ball in her hands. Back out to Toscano. Toscano, the two-point shots won't go. Daniels tries to get the rebound. Nearly knocked out of bounds, but saved by Snow. Evans passes it into Snow as Snow with the ball, guarded by Daniels. Snow driving her way. Tries to do a return step back. And it's stolen by Daniels, so we got a foul call. And it's going to be on Snow. And right now, so far, we got some substitutions going into the game as it looks like Tierra Griffin is going to be substituted in for Ford. And we have number 50, Somewhere Joseph, getting substituted in for number 42, Anaze Revenant. As right now, Preston with the ball, and Gabby Bryant is also substituted in, seemingly for Kyra Davis. Bryant with the ball, puts up the two-point shot, won't go. Snow recovers it and keeps her composure as she dribbles it up court. Back out to Brown, back out to Griffin. Griffin puts up the two-point shot, won't go. And Gabby with the rebound, passes it into Preston. Preston with the ball. Puts up the step-back two-point shot. It doesn't go in, and right now, both teams are trying to fight for possession, and it looks like it's going to be Jay-Woo's ball. And Zanaya Snow once again gets another foul call onto her. The score is still the same, 36-32. Jay-Woo is up by 4. And whistle's blown, and we are back into the game. Preston needs to hurry. Inbounds pass to Daniels. Daniels guarded by Brown. Back out to Preston. Thought about shooting it, but doesn't. Finds an opening. Passes it in. Toscano with the ball inside the paint. And scores once again. 7 points for Toscano in the quarter. And now the lead has been up 38-32. Gabby Bryant, the two-pointer steal. Won't go. Toscano trying to fight for the rebound. And another whistle has been blown. And right now, after a little bit of discussion from the referees, Preston is getting ready to inbound the pass. Preston back out to Gabby. Gabby all the way, passing it around to Daniels. Back out to Toscano. Some contact has been initiated by Brown, and it is going to be Jay-Woo's ball. And it looks like Toscano. It looks like they're going to do an inbounds pass. It was almost looking like they were going to go to the free throw line, but no, it's going to be an inbounds pass once again. 3 fouls has been committed by Voorhees in a small amount of minutes. And as Toscano misses the ball, Daniels trying to fire the shot, and another foul call. 3 straight foul calls has been on Toscano, as Toscano will finally be going to the free throw line. As right now, Toscano is also going to be shooting 2 free throws. Whether this is foul baiting or this is a strategy that Toscano has been using to bait the opposing team to go into the basket. And she misses the first free throw. And she sinks in the second one. And Brown inbounds it to Davis. Davis is dribbling as quickly as she can, but loses the ball, but it was last touched by one of the defending JWU players, and is going to be Voorhees' ball. Voorhees' ball. And right now, Voorhees trying to pass the ball around. Davis all the way to Joseph, and looks like she's fouled. And Joseph is at the line. And she sinks in the first free throw. And she sinks in the second free throw. And as she tries to inbound the pass, Ford knocks the ball away. Davis, a nice smart play as Preston all alone with the fake, but misses the layup. And Gabby Bryant tries to save the ball, but it is now out of bounds. That was a smart play, though, by the JWU team, but it was poorly executed. This is reminiscent from 2013 Lakers, where Kobe did the same thing against the Hornets. As right now, Voorhees trying to go to the baskets, passing the ball around like it's a hot potato, and we got a travel violation, and it is going to be JWU's ball once again. Referee's getting ready to do an inbound pass from Daniels. As Daniels passes it into Preston. Preston now seemingly getting guarded by Ford. And right now, Preston forming the offense, trying to go past the defense, passes it into Daniels. Daniels with the ball, back out to Bryant, seemingly misses the opportunity, and it is going to be Voorhees' ball. Voorhees with the ball. Gabby nearly locks it away from Brown, but Brown still recovers. Joseph inside the paint, and she scores. And it is now a three-point game, 39-36, with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left into the third quarter. And Preston pulls up for three, and she misses the shot. Voorhees with the rebound, trying to go into the defense. Nice defensive play by Preston, trying to save the ball, but it is still Voorhees' ball. And right now, number 3, Davis is inbounding it to Ford. Ford guarded by Preston. And Ford inside, misses the shot, but she does call for the foul, and she will get it as the whistle was blown. Foul's been called by Powell, as it is going to be her second foul into the quarter, as she'll go to the free throw line. And she sinks in the first free throw. Right now, JWU, they were up by 6 points, but now the lead has been deducted all the way down to 2. And if she makes this one, they'll now be up by 1. And they will be up by 1. They had a large lead seemingly by a 6 before Voorhees seemingly is trying to find their way back. Gabby passes it into Daniels. Daniels with the ball, puts up the mid-range two-point jumper. Nearly goes in, but is recovered. And right now, Toscano and Epps is seemingly getting, I won't say confrontational, but they were trying to fight for the ball with a little shove going around. And it looks like it's going to be Voorhees' ball. Joseph does the inbounds pass, nearly soloed by Preston, but Brown takes advantage of it. Preston now trying to come back to guard her. Nice passes it into Davis, and Davis with the score, and now Voorhees regains the lead. And a foul, and not a foul, a timeout call has been called, and it's going to be by Jay Wu. They were up as the third quarter was continuing, but with 2 minutes and 36 seconds, they're now down by 1, once again, 40-39. As of right now, Voorhees is seemingly slowly getting everything figured out for the opposing team. So Jay Wu needs to stay consistent, and they need to try to be able to execute the ball once more. They've been struggling throughout this entire quarter, defensively and offensively, despite having the lead, and now the lead has been taken away from them. There's still a quarter left, and they still have some time in the third quarter to hopefully regain what they've lost. So hopefully the Jay Wu fans can still sit down in excitement, anticipating another victory in the Jay Wu Wildcats den. And the whistle is blown, and we're back into the game as Toscano inbounds the pass to Preston. Preston getting guarded by Ford. Preston in the middle of the court, passes it to Toscano. Now to Powell. Powell to Gabby. Good ball movement from Jay Wu, but misses the three-point shot. Epps now passes it into Davis. Davis dribbling the ball up court, guarded by Bryant. Davis going to the left wing. Guarded, passes it into Ford, and now Gabby trying to force it as she goes to pass to Brown. Brown inside and misses the layup. Joseph with the rebound, and she puts it in. She needs to hurry as Toscano was about to inbound it, but Preston was seemingly tying her shoe, but she was able to save the ball. Preston trying to find somebody, passes it into Bryant. Bryant all alone, puts up the two-point shot, and that won't go. Lakin Powell trying to fight for the rebound, but doesn't get it as Voorhees with possession of the ball. Right now, Ford is trying to find an escape as she passes it into Brown. Brown guarded by Toscano. Does an underneath pass to Epps, and Epps with the score. Nice pass by Brown as the lead has been increased 44-39. Preston with the ball, guarded, under 50 seconds left on the clock. Preston into the right wing to Daniels. Daniels back out to Preston again. Preston fakes, puts up, passes it in. Powell, the two-point shot, and switches it home. And now the lead has been deducted all the way to 3, 44-41. Voorhees guard trying to summon the offense and focus on it. Ford guarded by Toscano. Ford passes it in to Davis. Davis fakes, fires. That won't go. Somehow gets the rebound, and she scores. Toscano Back out to Preston, and Preston's shot is going to be late. And right now, Voorhees is up 46-41 going into this game. Voorhees once again has maintained the lead for the previous 2 quarters. They were up by 1 going into halftime, and now they're up by 5, 46-41. As of right now, JWU fans is not looking too happy with the way that JWU has performed. In the early third quarter sequence, they were absolutely killing Voorhees as they managed to have a 6-point lead, 38-32. But right now, with such an electrifying one, with a 14-point scoring run, a 14-3 scoring run by Voorhees, they managed to bring the lead back into their favors. So right now, all we can hope is that in this last quarter, in the last 10 minutes of this home game, things can look good for our home team and look bad for the opposing team. But we won't know until the game starts going underway with the last quarter. And ladies and gentlemen, we're into the fourth quarter as Sydney Wells inbounds the ball to Preston. Preston to Davis. Davis guarded by Davis. Now back out to Wells. Wells with the ball. Hounded by Davis. Now to Tapley. Tapley guarded by Brown. And she scores! First point of the game in the fourth quarter. Brown trying to escape the defense, and seemingly she does. Back out to Epps. Epps nearly loses the ball. Goes out of bounds, but it's going to be JWU's ball. And right now the referee does an inbounds pass for Tapley as she passes it into Preston. Preston dribbling the ball up court, guarded by Ford. Preston with the ball. Whistle is blown, and it looks like it's going to be a foul on Voorhees. Yes, it is. It's going to be a foul on Epps. It's a defensive foul. As right now, JWU with the recovery, and it looks like Zanaya Snow is going to be substituted in. She's going to be substituted in for Ford, as looks like Preston is getting ready to do an underneath pass. She passes it into Tapley. Tapley with the ball. Thought about shooting it, now does, and it won't go. Joseph the rebound, passes it into Davis. Davis going to the paint, stolen by Davis again, but is recovered by Epps. Now has it into Brown. Brown nearly loses the ball, but thankfully it is recovered. And a whistle has been blown, and it was like a double dribble. But it's going, no, it looks like it's a defensive foul, and it's going to be on Tapley. Excuse me. Right now, the referees are discussing what to do in the position of the game. And right now, Epps is seemingly going to be the player to inbound the pass. Guarded, and is getting possessed by Wells. Passes it into Snow, guarded by Preston. Snow puts up the long two-point jumper. That won't go. Rebounded by Brown. Brown now guarded by Tapley. Brown for three. That won't go. Davis with the rebound, and now passes it into Preston. Preston with the ball, guarded by Snow. Crowd getting a little bit louder with the excitement. Preston going backwards a little bit, now trying to work away around the defense. Passes it into Tapley, now to Wells. Wells guarded by Epps, passes it into Rawlings, back out to Preston. Preston guarded by Snow, thought about doing a two-point shot, has to fire after the shot clock buzzer was about to sound, and she doesn't make it. Snow with the ball, dribbling up court at the left wing. Now going into the right wing. Does an underneath pass to Joseph, and ball nearly gets knocked loose, and it is now recovered by Jay Wu. Jay Wu on a 5-3 possession. Davis all alone for the tie. Won't go. And right now Voorhees with the recovery as Epps passes it into Snow. Snow passes it back into Brown. Now back out to Snow once again. 43-46. Voorhees is up by 3 with a 1-possession game. Snow guarded by Preston. Dribbling on the logo. Going into the left wing. Goes past Preston inside the paint. Whistle is blown, and we got an and one opportunity. Whether that was luck or that was a strategy by Snow to try to bait Preston into going in to foul her, it worked in her favor, as it is now going to be an and one opportunity for the first time in this quarter, as the league is now extended to 5. And Snow at the line. Is up the 2-point shot, and she sinks it home. And now Jay Wu is now officially up by 6. Daniels guarded by Epps. Nearly loses the ball, and it was last touch by Voorhees, so it's going to be Jay Wu's ball. It almost seemed like either she traveled or carried, but it looks like either way, Jay Wu seemingly had luck on their side. Preston inbounds it to Davis. Davis nearly loses the ball, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. There's only 7 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock, and right now Jay Wu is behind by 6 to the 5-10 Voorhees. Davis passes it into Brown. Brown guarded by Tapley. Brown dribbling. Does an awkward pass, and it is going to be, it was last touch seemingly either by Preston or Toscano, but either way, it is going to be Jay Wu's ball, not Jay Wu's ball, Voorhees' ball, as she inbounds it from Davis. Davis passes it in to Snow. Brown loses the ball, puts up the 2-point shot. That won't go. Toscano with the rebound. Jay Wu needs to play steady and proceed with caution. Preston, guarded by Epps. Passes it into Toscano, guarded by Brown. Trying to create a screen. Tapley tries to fight for the ball. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by her, and it's going to be Voorhees' ball. Davis dribbling the ball up court. Back out to Brown. Brown thought about shooting it from the left wing. Passes it into Snow. Snow to Epps. Now back out to Rendeval. Epps looks like an offensive foul, and it is going to be Jay Wu. Back-to-back, seemingly, well, more back-to-back calls has been displayed on both Jay Wu and Voorhees. But right now, Jay Wu needs to try to use those to their advantage. They're down by 6. Preston with the ball, guarded by Snow. Back out to gap to Tapley. Toscano inside the paint, and she scores with a layup. The lucky bounce was able to go inside the bucket. Snow back out to Epps. Epps with the ball, back out to Brown. Brown to Davis. Davis with the layup, and she sinks it home. And looks like Preston is dribbling the ball up court, guarded by Snow. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Toscano inside the paint. Tough shots. A foul has been called, and it looks like Toscano is going to go to the free throw line. Foul has been called on number 42. And right now, this could give Jay Wu an opportunity to either be to either be down by 4 or 5 or still have the lead remain the same. But either way, Toscano needs to make these 2 free throws. And she sinks in the first free throw. And she sinks in the second one. Jaewoo is now down by 4 points. And right now, ball gets inbounded, and we're back into the game. Brown, guarded by Daniels. Brown doing slow dribbling onto the left wing. Loses the ball, and it was last touched by her, and it is going to be Jaewoo's ball. Great defensive effort and hustle. Looks like we got a timeout call, and it was going to be on Jaewoo's team. Looks like a full timeout has been in place, as right now Jaewoo is down by 4, 51-47. And right now we're back into the game, Jaewoo fans, as Malaya Preston is dribbling the ball up court. Preston with the ball, guarded by Snow. Preston, looks like we got some contact, and it is now going to be on Jaewoo as Voorhees with the ball. And Davis inbounds to pass to Ford. Ford seemingly all alone at first. Back out to Brown. Brown to Davis. Davis back out to Ford. Ford seemingly not escaping anywhere. Back out to Brown. Brown thought about it. Now thought about it. Misses the shot. And Tapley gets the rebound. Back out to Toscano, and a travel violation has been called. 2 unfortunate calls has been displayed onto the Wildcats, as those could be costly for the team. And right now, we're going back into the game. Ford, guarded by Preston. Back out to Brown. Brown, all the way to Joseph. Joseph misses the pass, and it is going to be Jaewoo's ball. So an out-of-bounds play for Voorhees caused them to try to either extend the lead, as right now Jaewoo will try to get possession once again. Referees are discussing the formation to the players as Tapley inbounds the pass to Preston. Preston guarded by Snow. Snow trying to switch onto her as Preston passes it to Tapley, but she airballs it. And it's going to be Voorhees' ball. Timeout has been called as Anaya Snow is going to be substituted in for Brown. And another substitution in as Gabby Bryan will be substituted in for Gabby Tapley. And right now, ball's getting passed around. Ford, guarded by Preston. All alone, puts up the two-point shot, misses the layup. Second chance opportunity. That doesn't go. And right now, Jay Wu once again with movement. Not Jay Wu. Preston guarded by Ford. Preston inside the paint, misses the shot. Recovered by Joseph. And right now, Voorhees guarded by Preston. Ford with the ball. Preston is on the ground now in pain. Preston is seemingly on the ground. It seems like she's in pain, probably on her stomach. Yeah, it looks like Preston is getting ready to head to the bench now after that collision. Hopefully she is all right as she was able to walk back, but hopefully it's nothing too serious or too vital. Voorhees has an inbounds pass. Joseph tries to make the shot. That won't go. Tapley nearly gets out of bounds, but is thankfully recovered. Toscano pushing the ball, guarded by Brown. Calling for the screen, and now Brown collapses, but it's still going to be Jay Wu's ball. And right now, Toscano with the ball, two-point shots, and she puts it in. Now Jay Wu is now down by 2. 51-49. Snow hustling, guarded by Daniels. And Ford now guarded by Toscano. Passes it into Davis, guarded by Bryant. Davis nearly falls, seemingly trying to fake her as Davis scores. And right now, Voorhees calls for the ball. And right now we're back into the game. Preston guarded by Snow as she's back into the game. That's perfect. Preston collapses, but we got a foul call. And looks like it's going to be on the opposing team as Preston will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Thank goodness Preston was able to get back into the game. Hopefully it doesn't put a damp on her physical body as she tries to stay close into the game, both physically and mentally. And she's at the free throw line. She needs to make these 2 free throws. And she makes the first one. And Preston hits both jumpers. 2 beauties for Jay Wu. Davis nearly loses the ball, and a foul call has been initiated. Daniels could not believe it. And right now, that foul call has put Voorhees onto the bonus. So these free throws could either cost the game or give Jay Wu an opportunity as she makes the first one. And she makes both free throws. And now a timeout has been called once again by the Jay Wu Wildcats team. So far, the good update is that Malaya Preston is indeed okay to able to go back into the game as she hits those 2 free throws. The bad news is that unfortunately after the 2 free throws has been made, a foul call has been initiated against Jay Wu to now be down by 4 as they were originally down by 2. Nothing too much to worry about as they still have a lot of time left to try to stay into the game. But even then, they want to try to maintain this level of efficiency heading into a Jay Wu's win. They want to try to improve their record to 10-1, but they need to stay in check as much as they can. As right now, the 5 is going to be Toscano, Daniels, Preston, Powell, and Bryant. They need to try to stay as calculative and as precise as they can onto the court. Toscano needs to hurry and passes it in. Ball is stolen away by Voorhees, and Epps with the ball. Back out to Snow, now to Brown, all alone for 3, and she swishes it home. And now Jay Wu's down by 7. Ryan with the ball, trying to find an opening. Back out to Powell, now to Toscano. Toscano for 3. And that won't go. Daniels, the good rebound, puts up the 2-point shot. That won't go. Daniels tries again, and she falls to the ground. Seeming like Daniels was trying to focus on one of her hands, but hopefully anything can change this. She needs to make these 2 free throws. And she makes the first one. She misses the second one. Rebounded by Voorhees. Brown with the ball. Brown guarded by Toscano. Jay Wu is down by 6. Pass it into Ford. Ford, guarded by Preston. The Euro step, and she's fouled by Preston, number 1. And Ford showing a lot of happy emotions as she's getting ready to go to the free throw line. And she gets 2 shots. She needs to at least make 1 of 2 or miss both of them to keep the score intact. And she makes the first one. And she makes the second one. Brown was able to nearly knock the ball out of her hands. Good defensive effort, but thankfully it is still JWU's ball. Toscano inbounds it to Preston. Preston guarded by Snow. Preston trying to find some openings to go past the defense. Preston back out to Toscano. Puts up the 2-point shots, and she hits the 2-pointer. JWU now down by 6, 54-60. They got to go back. Less than a minute remaining, and Ford is once again celebrating after another whistle has been called. And now Ford will once again go to the line. And she puts up the free throw, and she makes the first one. It was like a toilet roll going into the lane, going inside of the rim, but she was able to get it to go. And she scores the second one. And right now a timeout has been called by the JWU women's team. JWU seemingly in a huge corner right now as they are down by 8 points, 62-54. And right now a foul has been called from Brown. Yep, it is on Brown, and Toscano will go to the line. And Toscano at the line. And she sinks in the first free throw. And she sinks in the second free throw. And now a timeout again has been called by Voorhees. It was like a 30-second timeout. JWU fans, stay in your seats as we still have roughly a minute to go going into this fourth quarter. As of right now, our women's team is still down by 6 with 58.5 seconds left on the clock. And right now, JWU has several opportunities, but Voorhees has been able to evade through their own offensive and defensive strategies and tactics to give themselves an explosive lead, as they're now up by twice the 3 points, which is 6. JWU needs to definitely try to find a way to work around that. They don't need to have a three, but they definitely need to start scoring quickly and rapidly in order to create an opportunity to shorten the gap. Epps inbounds the pass, back out to Joseph, now to Brown. Brown with the ball, guarded by Tapley as Gabby Bryan once again, as Bryan commits the foul, as Brown will once again go to the free throw line. And Brown sinks in the first one. And she sinks in the second free throw. And the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it is going to be Voorhees' ball. Ryan tries to pass it into Davis in the corner, but unfortunately it wasn't able to go through. Davis hustling her way through. You don't need to foul. You don't need to foul. Passes it into Epps, and a foul call hasn't been called. Oh, it looks like it's been called on Davis, and it looks like it's going to be JWU's ball. And Toscano getting ready to inbounds. Passes it into Bryant, and now a foul has been called again. It's going to be on number 22, Ford, as Gabby Bryant will go to the line. And they miss it, but the JWU Wildcats team gets the rebound. Toscano all alone for three. Won't go. And Tapley falls to the ground, and now it's going to be JWU's ball once again. And right now, Tapley's at the line. And she sinks in 1 out of 2. JWU down by 6. And right now Ford loses the ball. Now they're trying to figure out who gets the possession. Referees are discussing it. And it looks like it's a traveling violation. It is going to be JWU's ball. Daniels inbounds it. Back out to Bryant. Bryant all alone for three. Won't go. And now a foul call has been initiated onto Jay Wu, and looks like Voorhees will go to the free throw line. .17.5 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like the game is going to be in Voorhees' hands, unless a miracle happens. And Ford sinks in the first free throw jumper. And Ford scores in the second one. Bryant getting triple team. Now to Daniels. Daniels for three, and she scores. And now that is the first three-pointer made by Jay Wu in a couple of minutes, as now the score is 61 to 66. And right now, Ford at the line. And Ford sinks in the first free throw. And sinks in the second one, and it is now 68 to 61 with a commanding 7-point lead. And with the buzzer sounds, 2 buzzer beaters. However, nothing very significant, as Jay Wu will lose 68 to 64 after the buzzer beater made by Daniels. Thank you, Jay Wu Wildcats fans, for coming out to the game, as Jay Wu will now fall 12-6, and the opposing team, Voorhees, will improve 6-10. Jay Wu now has a home record of 9-2, leading to the end of this game. However, we can only hope that this game will continue to be a motivational factor for Jay Wu women's team to improve onto their record. Thank you, Jay Wu Wildcat fans, for coming out to this game, and we'll see you next time in the Wildcats Den. Have a good night.